I hate the way my boyfriend dresses. I realize how incredibly awful that introduction sounds, and that's honestly part of my dilemma. Before I get into it, I want to say that my boyfriend is a great guy. He truly loves and cares about me and makes sure that I know it. Here's the problem. He dresses very poorly. His everyday attire consists of old basketball shorts with no underwear and a t-shirt which is usually either bleach-stained or has holes in it. When we first got together, I only ever saw him after work. He does manual labor, and I brushed it off as they were his work clothes. It didn't take long for me to notice that he actually dresses like this every day. Since he is truly so good to me, I didn't want this to be the sole reason I step away. I've made gentle comments like, "Do you want to go shopping with me?" Or, "I think you would look so good in insert random clothing style asterisk." I don't ever want him to feel hurt by it or feel like he has to change, but it's really starting to embarrass me. For example, on Valentine's Day I went over to his house before we went out to dinner. I had spent a lot of time getting ready and wore a really cute pink dress I felt beautiful in. When I got there, he was unshowered and wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt with a bleach stain and a hole in it. He could tell I was upset, and I told him that I felt silly because I seemed really overdressed compared to him. Thankfully, he does have one pair of jeans that I did buy him because he owns nothing but basketball shorts and sweats, and he did pull himself together a little bit. I've started to make my comments a bit more direct about trying to dress better, but his response is always the same and along the lines of, "Why does it matter? This is what I always wear." It's really starting to get to the point that I am embarrassed when we go out together. He is a very handsome guy, but he doesn't even try to present himself in a better way. Money isn't an issue, so that wouldn't be a reason he isn't buying new clothes, shoes. He also only wears one pair of J's or slides, sometimes his work boots. I feel absolutely awful that this bothers me so much, but I truly feel like your partner is a representation of you in a way. I've told him that as well as nicely as I could, but it didn't seem to click for him. I don't know what to do about this. We are in our mid-20s, to give more context. Does anyone have any advice for me? Edit. Some of y'all are cutthroat AF, but I'm here for it all, lol. I just want to clear a couple things up. I just believe that the way you present yourself to the world is important. If he has just gotten off work, is doing yard work, or we're just lounging around, then I see no problem with his clothes. It's when we go out to social gatherings, go on dates, go to see my family, etc. where the holes, stains and no underwear bothers me. I actually have no problem whatsoever with t-shirts and basketball shorts. Just without stains and holes the size of baseballs? If that makes me shallow, controlling, needing therapy, then so be it, lol. My dad and brothers are blue-collar, and that's what I grew up around. Of course they have plenty of dirtied up, ripped clothes for work, but they don't wear them unless they're at work or chilling at home. I'm not a superficial, materialistic princess that wants my man wearing designer 24/7, which is how it appears some of you took it. I just want a little bit of effort when it's necessary. For all the "if roles were reversed" comments. I actually agree with you that most people would probably throw a fit, but in my opinion, if any person is presenting this way and it bothered their partner, I don't think it's unreasonable to communicate that as nicely as possible. I have talked to him a few times, but it doesn't get very far. I've bought him some new clothes, t-shirts, new shorts, a pair of jeans, but he doesn't wear them much. I'm not going to flat out say dress better or I'm leaving you, because that would be terrible. I'm a big believer in treat others the way you want to be treated. If I were doing something that made him uncomfortable, I would want to know and work through it. It doesn't have to be so cut and dry. Some of you are making me out to be some horrible person, when in reality I'm dealing with a situation with someone I love and want to know how to make the best approach to it. We truly have a great relationship and bond, but all of this constantly feels like there's a huge elephant in the room. I love him, I love who he is as a person, and he is very handsome. I just can't get down with these outfits every single day. I really just don't understand it. To everyone that had kind and insightful things to say, thank you so much and I really appreciate you. Thanks for submitting to the Two Hot Takes podcast subreddit. We'd like to remind you that all posts are subject to being featured in an episode of the Two Hot Takes podcast. If your story is featured, you'll get a nifty flare change to let you know, and we'll drop a link so you can see our host's take on your story. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please, contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message, compose, =r, 2 hot takes, if you have any questions or see. 1 Cerns. Are you by any chance dating Adam Sandler? Honestly, he always looks so comfortable though. https://imager.com/wifamy8q. I dressed like this when I gained a lot of weight and was insecure about my physical appearance as my old nice clothes didn't fit me anymore, and buying a new wardrobe was sort of out of the questions as I was losing weight slowly throughout the relationship, approximately 40 pounds in 11 months. I did dress nice on occasions when I went out with her and her friends or for dinner, but most of the time looking back I do regret not looking nicer for her. She did recommend me things from time to time, but I was putting my priorities on buying her things instead. Eventually this kind of looked like I didn't love myself and was just relying on her approval to make me feel better. Definitely lost myself in that relationship. I was insecure about my weight overall. I'm so sorry to hear that. You seem like a great person. I hope that you are happy and confident in yourself today. Smiley face. We've been BU since last November and I'm in the best shape of my life, clean shaven, take care of my skin, and myself now. Confident as ever. Thank you for the kind words. Top shelf, wholesome exchange we could all learn a little from. What does BU mean? Break up. That's not a common acronym type words. Thanks. This makes me curious, would you say she helped you see that and that's why you changed it? Because as someone who was in a similar situation, also BU, getting divorced, some part of me unrationally thinks how much better he'll be for the next woman. Who won't be me. I'm 28 and I don't intend to be childish about it, it's just it wasn't really happening with me. On some level I'm happy I could have helped, but would you say you'd that from now on, especially in any relationship you may pursue? I'm 28 too, I was always into nice things and taking care of myself. We happened to have met and fell for each other when I was at my worst physically, which I mistaken for true love, because everything seemed perfect and reciprocated the first few months. The time of the breakup I found and smelled things from another guy in her bathroom, and it mentally took me a week to accept she was hooking up with other people for a while. All the weird instances I would brush off because I blindly trust. Her just clicked and I was like ouch. I realized how much I was disrespected and disrespecting myself by staying, so my only revenge was to literally just walk away and improve myself and love myself. Even though I should have done that in the first place, lol. I never blamed her or confronted her either about it because I truly loved her and been in her shoes years ago, I think, with just the wrong person. I became an anxious wreck when my subconscious realized what was going on behind the scenes, but thankfully it helped me move on pretty quick. So many good points to this, and I am sorry it turned out there was infidelity. Mending heart, pleading face, but I resonate with a few points myself, and right now I still have some work to do for myself to just feel better overall, but I'm 20 pounds down and happy and just feel better about my life. Sadly I didn't choose it, but I have accepted and know there will be more in store for me, especially because I'm generally a happy person and find the positive in all things when I can. I lost that for a few months and realize how low I got, and I really would not like to experience that again. Thanks so much for your response and sharing so openly. Perspectives like this only help and are such an introspective way to learn about the ins and outs experienced by both sides. Thank you. Looking good is the best revenge, lol. That really sucks. The cheating, BTDT with an X, and my best piece of advice is please know that it has nothing to do with you, even if they try to blame it on you. It's a choice they actively made that is a reflection on them as a person. It doesn't matter if you were depressed, or had gained weight, etc. I am glad you were able to recover from all that and learn to love yourself more. Right, smiley face. Sometimes you can push people away when you love too hard without loving yourself first. I think I got caught in that spot. I did grow up with punk skating influence, so the whole bleach stains and holes in the vintage t-shirts felt like a nostalgic personal style. Deep down it's almost a rebellious expression, self-sabotage against looking good. But hey, at 28 I feel like it's time to grow up and look good for your partner when you go out and want to show them you not only care about but care about yourself. I believe the takeaway from this is that dressing down more than often can be a sign of neglecting your own image and thinking you're not worthy to dress nicer for your partner. Those things can be addressed, but it takes some inner work if the person is constantly dressing this way. Interesting. Sorry about the cheating. Reading this, I think it sounds like you still blame yourself a little too much. I, stranger, think you need to write her off as a kinda shitty person. If you were in her shoes, would you have cheated? What I really wanted to say was, interesting. I think dressing down just looks better. I dress up and dress down based on what I need to do that day. And dressing down for me is just a vibe. I think the key is not letting any of the actual pieces of the outfit be a true eyesore. So like nice joggers, baggy hoodie, all good, but holes in shirts maybe can feel a bit too real. Unfortunately, that's how it works out a lot of the time, especially with young relationships. But it's also why it's not a waste to have a failed relationship. You learn in life with every experience you have. You learn what you like and what you don't like, what you desire versus what you need. You learn to see different opinions and points of views, different ways of communication, etc. By meeting and/or dating people, you learn what boundaries to set in a relationship. But often it takes something as dramatic as a breakup to cause some people to be self-reflective enough to make changes or even want to. Why change if someone is okay with the status quo, is the thought pattern, I imagine. It sucks to see someone go on and do better in their next relationship and know that they grew from yours. But it's better than staying in that relationship then they would have never changed. Such a great perspective. It is hard to get over one part, why they didn't or couldn't change with you, but learn and grow. Love that. Why is it guys gain weight and become depressed while in relationships and lose weight and feel better after I gained weight outside of the relationship. I was single for a whole year before I met her. It was senior year for me in a pure math concentration, balancing a tough internship, and I was drinking a lot, eating bad that year. When we met, I was at my physical worst, but she loved me and I loved her. Mentally I felt great because I had just graduated and received a full-time job offer, and I took a lot of time to heal from my previous ex. I began to lose weight during the new relationship, contrary to what you're saying, because she was a positive influence on me when it came to healthy lifestyle habits I used to have long before. It was a slow process, but I made progress each month and it felt like she loved me for who I was. That was the hardest part when we split. What is BU? BU? Broken up? You two might want to chat. Kidding. I feel ya. My husband has tucked in his t-shirt so far sometimes the collar area is like 5 inches down. I've literally had to say, dude, untuck your damn shirt. Neither of us have any butt whatsoever, but I can still find jeans that look good. Guys don't always have it so easy. I know it's weird, but we go shopping together to tell each other yes or no on clothes. He was wearing Levi's forever. We're Gen X and that's what most guys wore. Anyway. He's TR. IED a few other cheaper brands, but they still hang down too low. Last year he actually went to the Gap to get jeans. We're just not Neiman Marcus, Saks or even Macy's people. Gap is high-end. As we get rolling on the floor laughing, neither of us have jobs that require more than jeans, t-shirts and sweatshirts. I fully understand where you're coming from though. You'd like him to actually wear underwear under his basketball shorts. Not necessarily under jeans. Winking face. No holes in t-shirts either. Have you ever thought of throwing Oot his t-shirts and replace them with new ones? Nothing fancy. Even a Walmart t-shirt is better than one with holes in it. I should have asked how long you guys have been together first. Unless I totally missed it in your post. Maybe instead of belittling your efforts on Valentine's Day, you should have asked, "Are you going to get ready soon?" Maybe actually saying when he is really bad for a situation that there is nothing wrong with being appropriately dressed, or that you are sad that you guys can't be more spontaneous as he is not appropriately dressed. Casual is one thing, bleached stains on all clothes is different. Perhaps wear something equivalent, and when he brings it up, bingo. In fairness, just because he dressed that way when you met him is irrelevant. If someone met a person at gym, they wouldn't expect only gym clothes. Pick worst ruined clothes when he is wearing it and say, "Babe, it's time to retire this, it's gotta go." When he says, "Why?" explain reasons and compromise that okay, keep it but it can't leave the house. Law. If he dresses as badly as you say, then you will likely not be first person to say something. Depending upon his business or goals, he needs to represent a more professional attitude. It's a sign of true love when you can sit your partner down, look them in the eyes, and be like, "Hey babe, I think it's time to retire this look," or really ask them if it's something deeper going on, how you can help. If he truly cares about you, he will be open to this discussion, improvement, as it's a moment where you are being pretty vulnerable with each other about a tough topic. Usually dressing poorly like that is sometimes a front for something going on deeper. If you can work through that, it will make you feel like you can work through the next tough thing that may come your way, strengthening the bond between you two. Okay, so if he truly cares about her, he will be open to this improvement. But what if he doesn't think it's an improvement? Does that mean he doesn't care for her? It sounds like a silly thing to break up over, but if she is so bothered by it, and he isn't bothered by it at all, maybe they're just incompatible? If he's still dressing like this in 5 years, are you going to be okay with that? No grumbling, no complaints, no subtle sighs of distress. If yes, then start being okay with it now. And quit complaining. If you won't be okay with it, which is fine, you shouldn't have to sacrifice your standards. Will you really want to have spent 5 years constantly nagging him about what he wears, when you could have been with someone who makes you happy and is compatible with you? My husband used to be like this. I straight up told him it feels embarrassing that he dresses like this. It looks like he doesn't have good hygiene. He grew up in poverty and this was normalized for him. I told him it's okay to buy new clothes when they are worn down. He doesn't need to wear expensive brands either. Just clean clothes is all that matters. He doesn't dress that way anymore. Is it possible your partner might be lacking confidence, so he just doesn't give a fuck what he wears? Have a serious talk with him. If he doesn't want to clean up, then consider if this is something you can handle or if you want to go separate ways. Lol, this rings true for me too from a husband's POV. Don't get me wrong, I would dress nicely when it was absolutely required, like for work or a formal event, but otherwise I was usually in basketball shorts and even for social outings where it was definitely underdressing. My wife got me out of it by telling me to stop looking like Adam Sandler. Telling my partner this would only encourage the way he dresses. I've actually tried it. That man loves Adam Sandler. Lol. He also may just be confident to the point that his clothes aren't a big deal to him. Well, that is a hot take. Tears of joy, his body is the outfit *L Mao. I would imagine that people with lower confidence would feel the need to compensate with their clothing. I think it can go both ways, I agree. Grin, but I also think there's a difference in wearing very worn down clothes and completely in designer. I always thought people who wear full designer outfits are corny. Lol, my husband and I like to go to discount stores to buy clothes and we get great deals. I'm all for deals. I'll wear something and tell my friends, I got this on clear for $4. Or whatever it is. If I've been shopping by myself and come home with bag, my husband gets upset. But I'll show him the exact same thing I'm going to wear to get lunch or dinner with friends, say, but honey, it was only $3. rolling on the floor laughing. Same here. Tears of joy. Walmart has been selling these basic t-shirts for $3 and I've been obsessed. I have a 1-year-old and I'm pregnant, so I just want to be comfy. I think my husband would be upset if I went to Ross without him. Tears of joy. He loves to look. I know exactly the ones you're talking about. They're so soft. Only problem is they shrink a little. I wash everything on cold even. Good thing they're cheap. I hope he handled it well. Partners are supposed to pick up each other's game. If he dresses funny and doesn't know it, he will appreciate you for pointing it out. Yeah, he did. I see he's happy to wear clean clothes that look nice. Sometimes people just need a little help. He enjoys looking at clothes and picking out new things. And what's our next project? Well, he's building a fence outside. Then is going to remodel our kitchen. Lol. Tears of joy. He's been doing good and no complaints here. When I met my husband, he used to wear his same clothes from high school that fit, but not well. I honestly think some guys just don't know and don't care about their appearance. What I did was I started buying him clothes that fit him better, were comfortable and looked like adult clothes. I would compliment him a lot and other people started to as well, so it encouraged him to continue wearing clothes like that. Now he only wears nice clothes except for after work when he wears comfortable clothes. These to walk our son in the evenings. Also just communication. If op feels like putting an effort into appearance for your loved one shows you care, express that. Terrible advice. Too bad it worked for me, huh? Woman shrugging. Light skin tone. Geez, Reddit at it again. Lol. Seems to me like a pretty typical thing in a relationship between two young people that's pretty easily fixable. And the top comments are rolling with breakup advice and ultimatum. Lol. Hey, it's just about communicating. You seem like a couple that really works, and also splitting because of this would be silly. Come on. Truth simply is that men are often simple and really don't care about style and stuff like this. And to make it worse, hints don't work at all. So you are subtle hints like, this style could really fit you, won't have any effect. If you want him to get it, you will just have to tell him straight. Good news is though that most guys will be totally okay, and if you show him what style you think might fit him and take him shopping, he might actually like it and start trying for you. He probably just never really thought about something like this. Like, come on, there is enough jokes and stories among guy friends of how somebody found a girlfriend and she cultivated him and he started dressing nicer and is now less of a feral animal. It's kinda how it actually is in most cases. Just don't be afraid of any negative reaction, as almost certainly you won't get any, and be very direct with him. Take an initiative and buy him a cool shirt and give it to him, telling him to try it on and that to tell you if he likes it and all, and that frankly the way he dresses is terrible and you are on a mission to make him presentable. I mean, guys' humor is basically insults too most of the time, so I bet he'll just get it and might be even fun or funny experience. Yeah, these replies are insane. Lol, this is shit normal couples have disputes about. It's unavoidable, yet Reddit's immediate response is, nuke the relationship, he doesn't deserve you, queen. Yep, and then there are other comments saying she's unreasonable for dating him in the first place and now trying to change him. Tears of joy. Like, can't we land somewhere in the middle? No, of course not. This is Reddit. Nuanced takes aren't allowed here. That's because they wholeheartedly believe that relationships are supposed to be exactly as they were portrayed to them as children in cartoons. Exactly. You have to remember those comments are probably made by single or divorced people rolling on the floor laughing. People on Reddit seem to get off of telling people to break up. Almost like their brilliant comment was a contributing factor to a real-world breakup, so it gives them a sense of power in their otherwise powerless existence. They are damaged goods most likely. Can we please get this to the top XD? This is basically one of my early 20 relationships and how things went down. I always dressed in, well, just say not really presentable cloths. Goth. Really baggy clothes. I met a girl that I really liked. 6 months into the relationship or so, she brought up how I dressed. We had a little talk about it. We went shopping. Good times. I just didn't really care what I was wearing, to be honest, just stuck with what was comfortable at the time. Tell him it was fine when he was younger, but now he needs to start presenting himself as a young adult. Haha, thank you for this. I definitely don't want to break up with him over it, nor do I even think it's breakup worthy. Just a matter of figuring out how to navigate it, smiley face. Oh, once I was in a similar situation with my GF, except it wasn't clothes but skincare products and stuff. I guess my skin was bad and she could tell, while it never occurred to me before. She just slowly eased me into it, asking me what I'd like and what products I used. Gradually would let me try using some of her products and asking me if I like it. She got me talking about it to narrow down what kind of products I need the most, and when we went to a shopping center, we went to the cosmetics store. Like she wanted to check something there, but we went to check out something for me. She'd pick a thingy for me and all. I guess be more direct, but in a kind way. Don't start like it was something super serious. Maybe something like, "Ah honey, this terrible t-shirt again? You could look so much better in something like." And then maybe ask him what kind of clothes he might like, and of course direct it towards some sort of presentable clothes, lol. Make him think about it, realize what he might like and what quality in clothes he might prefer. I bet it would be comfort. And then try to make some concrete outfits together, like you were chatting about something that's really interesting for you, so he'd probably be into it. And finally, just offer that you might someday go shopping together for clothes and try doing a makeover for him or something. Oh, and then actually do it. Keep coming back to it and don't let it go, so he realizes that it's something you care about. When you'd go ROND a clothes shop, take him in and make him try something. Or straight make a plan to go clothes shopping. You can also buy a piece of clothing for him and give it to him later so he can try it and see what he thinks. It's important to find something he'd want to wear himself. I'd try to do it more like a gradual process though, so you don't overwhelm him. He didn't shower or put on big boy pants for their Valentine's Day dinner date until she basically begged him to, even claiming she felt overdressed, when in reality, he couldn't be bothered to bathe himself. Jesus Christ. And then the only real pair of pants he owns are pants she bought for him and had to ask him to wear them. I mean, nicer restaurants often have dress codes, and dude didn't care enough about taking her out for a nice dinner to even shower. She showed up to his place to go on a date and then had to convince him to bathe and wait for him to get ready. Tears of joy. This isn't exactly about her not liking how he dresses. He's behaving like a child and not meeting the lowest possible standards for respecting her and her time and effort in the relationship. Send him back to his parents until they finish raising him. Dude doesn't even wear underwear. Does he brush his teeth? Gym shorts with no underwear? The bar is in hell for men. As women, we're expected to tolerate the bare minimum. There are really people commenting on this post claiming that desiring your partner to bathe and wear clothing devoid of holes or stains is too much. Well, I mean, it's about your priorities. If you found a handsome man who'd be supportive and kind and loving and all that jazz but had a really shitty style and would be wearing clothes with holes, would you take it? I mean, it's a flaw you can work on. As I said, nobody is perfect. Everyone has issues, and as far as my opinion is concerned, there might be way worse surprises waiting for you in the dating world. Some that might be actual deal breakers. Stop overdramatizing because you're bored and live in a bubble, lol. This is fair, but also sometimes it's the woman a man loves who shows him how to become a better man, and not his parents. Happens all the time. And sometimes a woman wants to be with a man instead of trying to raise a boy into a man. If Op doesn't want to finish parenting this guy, that's beyond fair. Oh good lord, yes, both of these realities can be true. Calm down. I know, people are unreal. If our partners all shared our worst traits, I'm sure we each would have something to work on. My boyfriend needed to borrow my car for one day and he couldn't make it without taking it through a car wash because I let it get filthy. But you don't let yourself get filthy. Failure to complete basic personal hygiene tasks, and no interest in changing, is pretty different from not taking your car to get washed. Well, I mean, everyone has a different situation and everyone has something you know. Nobody is perfect and you don't really know these people and what they are all about. He might be awkward or has like IDK, low social intelligence or whatever, or he might be just really inexperienced, or yeah, maybe he's just a little childish about this, or perhaps he simply doesn't really care about Valentine's Day and didn't realize it's way more important for the girl, or he had some sort of a difficult upbringing. Hell, I am childish about some things too, and I have issues. Does it mean that I am not worthy of love because of it? Like, if you really like somebody as a person, flaws like this are worth trying to fix. Relationships are about growing together and compromises after all. Agreed on this approach. I'd consider my style good enough, but if I had a girlfriend and she said that my style was bad and she wanted to help, I'd accept that criticism immediately. It's not like my partner would want me to look worse, so I might as well trust them. I am the cultivated man. I was dressing exactly like op boyfriend, now I am in nice jeans, cowboy boots and button-downs, lol. Thank God for a good woman. If I could upvote this 168,669,354,785,673 times, I totally would. Seriously, expecting your partner to not dress like a total slob for no good reason when the occasion calls for it is not unreasonable at all. She even says she doesn't care when they're at home. Like, FFS, he's going commando every day. Greater than BB, but if the roles were reversed. If your girlfriend is going pantyless every day and staining her Cookie Monster sweatpants while out to dinner, you are absolutely not unreasonable for addressing that, like, come on. Yeah, I am not saying she should be okay with it, or that it's not okay to expect your partner to wear somewhat decent clothes. I am just saying that it's bizarre that so many people straight up condemn the dude just cause he simply doesn't care about his style and clothes. It's simply a thing his GF can work on with him. We all have something we need to improve. If my girlfriend dresses bad because she doesn't care, I'd just take her shopping and tell her it's because I care about how she dresses. Op is all flustered because she sees this as an issue she has brought up multiple times before she got a response, but she didn't. Hints don't work on these kinds of dudes. Once she was direct, she got a AWNSER as to why he dresses bad, because he doesn't care. All she has to do is say she does, and go to the store with him to get cloths. Reddit is so restarted, lol. Thank you. A large majority of these comments on these types of posts usually go this way. I don't know how to communicate X with my partner, what do I do? Break up. But it's not really a deal breaker. Dump them. Run. Seek therapy. Best comment here. How do people here stay married? If they really act like this about small things. My parents were married 43 years. Before my dad passed recently. My brother and I have been married 23 and 18 years respectively. Maybe it's easier for us because we saw it in action? I hear people talk about breakup and divorce over the smallest things. I would hate to be in a relationship where every small thing was a relationship-ending event. My husband and I have gone through some real trials and tribulate. Ions in our marriage. This is a piece of cake. I got my husband to dress nicely. He worked a lot and didn't care. A lot of men don't think about it. Just be nice about it. Be supportive about it instead of negative. Be willing to help. That's all it takes. Don't listen to the people saying break up. That's crazy. You don't leave someone you love over a hole in a t-shirt. These people need to do better. Love is special, not meant to be thrown away for trivial reasons. 100% there's guys out there who actually have individual style and really care what they look like, but they're few and far between. I believe that women genuinely express themselves through their personal style. I don't understand it emotionally, but I do believe it. Guys almost never do. As long as you don't straight up infantilize him or want him to wear something he isn't going to wear, a kilt, pink, etc., just tell him he'll look super hot and it'll make you want to have happy times. And he'll probably wear damn near anything. You're all, don't you want to dress nicer to signify that you're an adult and we're in it together and we're celebrating our relationship on Valentine's Day by putting our best foot forward together. His literal thought process is probably, these are the pieces of cloth I drape over myself so I don't get arrested for indecent exposure, plus any PPE for work. The fact that new casual men's fashion basically looks like someone robbed a bad hip-hop video in the 90s only makes this worse. I mean, for the love of Christ, Hugo Boss has drawstring suit trousers. It's not the most atrocious thing they've done, but it's a distant second. Yup. This sub is so trash. It started to pop on my feed, and there isn't one that caused me a facepalm. It's disturbing. Greater than old basketball shorts with no underwear. What the fuck? Am I missing something? Because ain't no way my man is going to dinners like this. When he says why does it matter, reply, it matters to me. His answer will tell you if you should stay or go. It's definitely not that simple though. If my boyfriend had a problem with the way I dressed and told me I should change it, because it matters to him, I would be telling him where to shove it pretty sharpish. Depends. As a woman, if I wore pajama pants every day and my guy was in a suit, I would completely understand if he told me to put a little more effort in. If I was wearing dresses every day and he had a problem with the style or color, etc., I'd tell him to go touch grass. A lot of men, especially during the pandemic, have gotten pretty comfortable getting away with looking like what Op described. He may genuinely think that there's nothing wrong with how he dresses if every other man around him dresses the same. When I was dating my ex, I ordered him a bunch of chinos from Express and he bitched about them, but when he tried them on they became all he would wear. I agree. It's not about fashion or aesthetic. It's simply just putting more effort into the way you look because yeah, it does matter to most women. I hate saying this, I'd be terrified at any point to tell my wife to step her game up. She's not super superficial, but I would rank that up with you know you're just like your mother style comment. That sounds pretty simple to me. If he tells her to shove it, then clearly it is not something he is interested in changing, regardless of her feelings, so she can accept it or find someone who dresses better. I think, because it matters to me, is one of the better reasons for a request like that. Would you rather your boyfriend say it mattered to him, or that you look like you live under a bridge? Right. He could easily respond with, and dressing this way matters to me. I don't see the problem with that response. If he says it matters to him to keep dressing the way he does, then you discover something about what the other person values, which is a good chance to dig deeper. If fundamentally neither person wants to change what they think is important, then you learn that you probably shouldn't stay together. The person you wind up with is going to change you, you're going to change them, and you both have to be open to that change. Is the way you dress clearly outside baseline standards of social acceptability? Not the same situation. Gonna be honest, it's exactly the same situation. It's the same situation if she also goes out on dates unshowered wearing stained clothing with holes in them. Wearing clothes that are whole and clean when on a date is pretty much bare minimum. But if he says, well, then you should pick out clothes for me, buy clothes and then I'll wear them, it's not a win nauseated face. I don't think it's fair to expect someone to develop an interest and an eye for fashion for your own satisfaction. I think her taking him shopping and him obliging to dress nicer in the things she picks out is a huge win. This isn't about him not having fashion sense, he is wearing clothes that are full of holes and bleach stains and he didn't shower or put clean clothes on for her birthday going out dinner. This shows a lack of caring. And there is nothing wrong with having some old clothes to lay around the house in or wear when doing messy jobs, but this is over the line. Maybe he just doesn't care about how he looks. Which is pretty common amongst blue-collar workers in my experience. That being said, I do find it odd that he doesn't want to dress up for his partner. Guys are pretty visual, so I'd think he'd want to give her some eye candy if he's into her. I don't know a single blue-collar worker that dresses only in basketball shorts and raggedy-ass shirts with no underwear. Dude is a complete slob emo. not that common, and saying so is just insulting to blue-collar workers. This doesn't seem right to me. If he can get to a place where he hears and understands it's important to her, he still may lack a sense of style and ability to dress himself to a standard he doesn't comprehend. Sometimes I think people don't understand how to take small wins and build on them. It doesn't need to be all or nothing. This doesn't sound so much like an issue in style as much as effort. Presentation does matter, especially the bare minimum to show someone you care what you think. It used to bother the crap out of my father if he couldn't fit a shower and change between work and dinner, but he also walked me down the aisle in his nicest jeans, and that was totally enough for both of us. I think she just wants a little more effort in how he wants her to see him and how he wants to be seen while they're together. I think other people judge, too. If they go out with her friends who consistently see him in torn, stained, worn-out, sloppy clothes, like it or not, they might judge her for dating such a slob, too. Right, I'm not the best in the style department either. I often pick kind of childish things and have more gym attire than anything, and I love it when my GF comes shopping with me and helps me pick out some outfits. I always feel really snazzy afterwards. I think Ops BF's reaction to her wanting to do this is important though. If he has zero interest in it, I mean, you can't change someone who doesn't want to change. If he's interested, then there's no shame in them tackling this together. She shouldn't have to mother him though and take him school clothes shopping. She can express her desire for him to dress better, and he should try to do it without her tagging along all the time. It's already a location flag. She has to nearly beg for him to get out of basketball shorts and bleached t-shirts. It's a half win. She can spin it into a shopping trip where she shows him what she thinks he'd look good in. Then explain that dressing nicely is showing that he cares about looking nice for her, since she, I assume, does that for him. Then she can go into explaining why caring what your partner thinks of your appearance and putting work into it is actually also showing you value the other person, because you want to look nice for them. This was how my ex-wife did it, and I've never looked back. We split for reasons unrelated to fashion and self-care. Lol, I'm sure you've had a lot success in relationships. Tears of joy. No, that is exactly the answer you want. You are a red flag. Don't most women do that for their husbands? Not being a dick, I'm a gay dude, so I honestly don't know. I buy all my husband's clothes. Lol. Yeah, I figure this is common. My mom bought my dad's clothes. Many straight men, when they shop for themselves, buy pants that are 4 sizes too big and shirts so large they look like tents. Or just from Cabela's. Like, good job, Perma Hunter. If it were up to me, I'd cycle through my 3 pairs of jeans, 3 different color Carhartt tees. Good quality stuff that lasts years. Yep. I'm 44, and in the last 5 years or so I've become willing to spend a lot more on quality timeless pieces, as they will last forever. Some of my better clothing investments. 1. JJM underwear. I will not admit how long I have had them. 2. Scotch and soda jeans. Dutch company, classic cut. 8 years old and look new. 3. Boss outerwear. Not that expensive if you go to an outlet store. 4. New Balance sneakers. Similar price to other sneakers, better quality and better on my back. 5. John Fluvog S. Hose. Canadian company based in Vancouver. Lifetime guarantee, a lot of really cool and funky shit. Lady Gaga even bought some. 6. Anything by John Varvatos, even the low-end Star USA brand. For my nicer stuff, I don't mind going more expensive since I'll only wear it a couple times and I'd like it to last for a long time. The Carhartt and Wranglers get worked in, so I get tears often. Wranglers used to be good stuff, but I find myself buying a new pair every couple months now. Carhartt can go years and hundreds of washes with 0 holes. Dirt cheap if you can find it at Sam's or Costco too. That's one brand I'll stay loyal to, strictly because of the quality. Toyota too, but different co. NVO lol. Same, my husband hasn't bought his own clothes in at least 14 years. I'll send him some options if I'm looking for something he doesn't usually wear, but overall he's happy to leave it to me. Personally, I only buy clothes for my husband as gifts. Like a Patagonia sweater I knew he'd never buy himself but would love, or a fun t-shirt that made me think of him. He loves socks and undies in his stocking. But his entire wardrobe? Nah, that'd be weird. That's good. Patagonia is super nice, that's a great gift. How is his style in general? Do you ever need to intervene? I'm in my 30s and the only new clothes I've gotten since HS were 3 identical pairs of khaki shorts because my old ones got holes in the butt pockets corners, and free work swag t-shirts and jackets. Identifying clothes that look good on men, including myself, is a wholly alien thought process to me. Literally the only time I've noticed is from the assumption that guys in suits want to sell me something. Yes, it's definitely common. I could agree with the asking to buy part but not the picking out. If his reply is, sure, but I don't know what you're into really, come with me to help pick? Is a different story then, I won't put in the effort to get new stuff. Why though? I'd love to know the reasoning behind this. Jesus fuck absolutely not. Dress better for me, buy yourself clothes I like, yeah no. Buy me some clothes and then I'll wear them, as long as you aren't a dick about it, and I at least semi-like them. It's not a win that she can't demand he change his clothes? Wouldn't you sooner leave than be forced to demand things from your loved one? Expecting him to fundamentally change is the issue, not his habits. She can accept his habits or not, he can change or not, but to say that a scenario of compromise is gross? You're gross. I am a borderline anti-materialistic person. I have my friends and shit buy clothes for me all the time because I just cannot be fucked enough to care. The only time my wardrobe is important is when it's related to my job. Anytime my friends or mom or siblings are like, what do you want for, insert holiday, B-day here? I go, clothes. I mean I definitely appreciate my girlfriend helping me pick between outfits, point out shit I'd look good in. Obviously you don't want to do all of the emotional labor and expend effort alone in dressing your partner, but asking for input and guidance isn't unreasonable. This also assumes they take an active interest in dressing up sharp lol. You need to have better fashion sense. I don't care about stuff like that, but if you buy clothes for me with my money I'll wear that instead. This commenter, nauseated face. You can't win with women. Wear your basketball shorts, king. I mean she literally offered shopping. Why would she not pick them out? The guy obviously has zero taste, LMAO. Why yeah, that should make it a real easy one on his part, face with rolling eyes. The question is obviously, why does it matter to you? He just wants to understand her better. Such an awful take. It's heavily frowned upon for men to control how women dress, but you're telling up it's fine for them to do that to the BF, or break up. Double standard is wild. I don't think most women would wear torn, stained clothes regularly everywhere in the first place, except to clean the garage. Maybe I'm naive, but most women like to look nice when going on a date. I don't think it's the same. Men mostly control women in terms of their body, their sexuality, relating after either to modesty, purity or what is deemed sexy, beautiful. Both is because those men see women as an extension of themselves. Expecting your partner to dress for the occasion doesn't compare to that. Going out with someone, for example on a date to a restaurant, while they wear dirty and damaged clothing, as this guy apparently does, is embarrassing, because it's simply not appropriate. She doesn't ask him to dress expensively or be really fit and show of his body, which would be the only way it could slightly be compared to how het men often want women to dress, but not even fully. Literally said she sees her man as a representation of herself. It's the same situation just with different genders. This is indeed a double standard. Dressing sexually provocative is also something not considered appropriate in many circumstances, and go back a couple of decades and it was hardly considered appropriate anywhere or anytime. So what's the difference here, really? Sounds to me like you just want to be able to say that it's okay when you do it, but not when it gets done to you. Oh, and to be clear, I have never tried to control or even influence how my wife dresses. That's totally up to her, and I have zero interest in purity. Hink people should be allowed to dress however they please. Only thing is, if you dress in a very provocative and/or eye-catching manner, for instance sexualizing yourself more than would be the case had you been running around stark naked, you will not get any sympathy from me if you complain about people staring, looking. Terrible advice. This answer is like when parents say, "Because I say so." Just actually answer why it matters to you. Most nuanced Redditor opinion. You might have to do the unthinkable. Have a short, honest conversation with your boyfriend. For just lounging or quick stops to grocery stores, I think it is okay, but if going on date, he should wear things without holes or stains. Greater than, why does it matter? This is what I always wear. While how we dress is an expression of ourselves, how we dress is also, at times, a means of demonstrating our respect for others. If you're a Christian man, and you enter a synagogue, you put on a yarmulke because in that context that is one person's way of demonstrating respect to the group. Wearing presentable clothes while going on a date with up is sort of a similar idea. Saying, "I want to look my best for you when we go to this public place," or, "I want to show my respect for this restaurant and the people who work here and my fellow diners by looking put together and not rocking up in the clothes I sweat in all day," isn't inherently a bad thing. That comment emo references to little to zero backlash on his attire. He has spent years, dressing and looking bad with no one telling him, "Hey bro, you look like asterisk 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 asterisk." I grew up being told and telling people they look like trash. Change, wash up. IDK what community op is in, but they don't sound like real direct people when it comes to words. TLDR, no one tells BF his attire is trash. Yup, he needs it told to him straight. Sad it hasn't happened before. Almost definitely a lower-class white American. They stopped giving a fuck about clothes after the Depression or WW2 I think. I'm suspecting there's something more than simply a guy who doesn't understand how to get dressed. When she mentioned that for Valentine's Day, he wasn't even showered, never mind the fact that he was wearing sweatpants and a crappy t-shirt after working a manual labor job, I kind of wonder if he's depressed and if possibly he's got any issues from his childhood about money and clothes and appearance. No underwear. Skull. What is with all these grown men lately who don't know to at least shower before an encounter? Or even if you're super casual, be clean and don't wear dirty clothes with holes in them. You can be super casual and comfortable, and still not look and smell like you've been sleeping in a gutter. I see it with my friends who work physical labor, I don't know why. Maybe they can't smell themselves after a while so it doesn't occur to them? TBH I've seen some sense-off, people like that, like, non-conforming to fashion and social media dictator, and while in agree that we shouldn't be this hyper-focused with image and fashion like we are nowadays, doesn't mean that everyone has to look like a slob just to, edgy, that patterb, this would be different if op didn't like the style he weared like, I hate that my partner used so much black on his clothers, that would be a GTFO moment cause it's his style, but this sounds like he pure. Posely choose to look the worse he can just cause he can get away with it, I mean t-shits with goals and stains? Really? Is he a spoiled 5 years old? I have told my husband to let me have his shirt and gave him a shirt to put on. He to this day thinks I have a cute weird thing for smelling his shirts. I do not know why, but really smart guys are notorious for rag clothes. Shabby chic needs to die but never will. I've definitely encouraged the retirement of a couple of my husband's shirts. There's well worn, and then there's t-shirts with quarter-sized holes around the collar. I never not pick about what he has on because he has reasons that are valid and not at all interesting. Beat-up jeans, shoes and shirts feel better. New things itch pinch and are too stiff blah blah blah. You are Lucy, he is Linus in the world of Peanuts. Okay, but the pair of jeans where his left nut hangs out needs to be mentioned. I'm going to use this but with pig pen, thanks. I find it so weird. My ex's dad is a tenured professor at one of the top universities in Australia, head of his department, has multiple doctorates, and is one of the top experts in his field. Every day he dresses in Velcro sandals, Mambo t-shirts with holes in them, and cargo shorts, and this is his work clothing. A guy who was perpetually on college dressing like he's still in college, in the 90s. Teva's Velcro sandals are great, though. I had the same issue with my ex and it really made me dress worse myself. I love fashion and dressing up. But with him all the joy of looking cute was gone and I wore jeans and t-shirts all the time. It really took a toll on me. I feel that not caring about your clothing shows a certain attitude towards life and other people, which just wasn't my cup of tea. I started looking worse and not taking care of myself. Now I have a boyfriend who cares about fashion and I am so much happier now. It's so much fun to get dressed up together. He does not understand that part of keeping the relationship going is to take care of yourself so your partner is attracted to you. Once the first butterflies fly away, it is work, and looking clean and fresh is super important. Also dressing for different occasions. Making effort. It matters. Clothes that are miscolored and with holes, that aren't fresh are sending a message. He might think it does not matter but sadly it does. It also shows respect to others, to a place, occasion, others, see. Culture and customs. I wish my husband cared more about clothes. He does not, but getting slowly better. He does though, changes his t-shirt 3 times a day if he was working or got sweaty. He is super clean and I love it. You need to talk to him directly and say exactly what you mean. Sounds like he's a blue-collar guy. Being a blue-collar guy, I can tell you because of the environment we work in and the people we work with, we like plain talk. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Look honey, you dress like a fucking hobo. If you want to wear basketball shorts and slides working around the house, cool. If you want me on your arm out in public, you need to wear something without stains. But you're going to Vay to go get the clothes. He ain't gonna go do it. Take his card, figure out his sizes and go get him clothes. Then, when it's time to go out and he comes out in sweatpants, you say, bullshit. Go get the jeans I got you, the nice button-up shirt and those brown shoes I got you. I'm telling you, he'll do it. A few times of that and he'll start feeling good wearing nice clothes and you probably won't have to say anything else. Not often anyway. Trust me. Be direct. Loving, kind but direct. You're advocating someone steal his cards and spend his money for her satisfaction. This is absurd. That's her boyfriend, not a husband with a joint account. Nobody should trust anything you say. I don't think they meant take as in steal here. But I do think they should go shopping together, that way she doesn't have to take measurements because not all pants are what they say they are. If you're going out, he definitely needs to dress halfway decent. At home with just family, he's good. I agree 100%. You're definitely going to get a lot of advice here, that is, go get him clothes you like, take him shopping, buy him more jeans, and I am here to say fuck that. You're not his mother, it's not your job to dress him. I can tell that you're a kind, compassionate partner who deserves better than the bare minimum he is giving you. But there's no kind way to tell him that he needs to step it up. I'd tell him I'm not going anywhere with him until he buys himself clothes, because you deserve his Saint not what he always wears. Coming from a man that basically immediately showers and changes into PJs after work, unless we have something planned, I can't agree with this more. Bare minimum. Put some intention, energy, and effort into the relationship. I'm married, I still put so much effort and thought into my appearance when my wife and I go somewhere. Side note, who wants to be that deadbeat slob that's ambling behind your well-put-together partner? Ick. Have some awareness and respect for yourself, your relata, on ship, and your partner. I think this is pretty bad advice that will get you into a fight. How about you explain why you care about what he looks like? How it makes you feel special, how you want to admire his good looks. And a little bit of effort just makes it all seem a little more special. Maybe show him a side-by-side photo of an average-looking dirty and average-looking organized person. Not saying he'll get the point. But I think when you just start telling someone what to do in a relationship, you fight more. You have to help him understand by clearly communicating your feelings, and helping him reasonably understand why a little effort makes everything feel special. And he'll learn to love you deeply, if you help him love the world in the way you love it, if you do it in a kind way. All for the communication that Pocket Line mentions, but make it go both ways. Ask him why he likes wearing what he's wearing. Is it as simple as, it's comfy, or, I don't like shopping, or, it's easy? Or as some have mentioned, weight gain, loss, insecurities, or something deeper? As an aging elder emo, or as I like to call it, corporate punk, I've had trouble keeping my style while adapting to my fluctuating body type over the years. I've discovered the last couple years that you can definitely have comfy, easy, while also being stylish. They have pants these days that look like nice dress pants, slacks, with elastic waists, that feel like sweatpants. Find a plain tee that looks good for his body type and just get a dozen. A pair of leather, slip-on or low-profile dress shoes. My point being, when you suggest things to him, take his current style and preferences into consideration and find the middle ground. Don't suggest anything that's too stiff or rigid, or opposite of where he's at right now, right off the bat. Considering his career, I'm sure he's not consuming a lot of fashion media or influences. So I'm sure a chunk of the problem is that he just doesn't know what's out there. What his options are. You should express all your feelings, and if he's on board, find that middle ground together. Good luck, Op. Elastic. You get it. This really isn't about making Op feel special or wanting to admire his looks. He's an adult who doesn't have it together enough to even own a few outfits that are appropriate for normal things adults do, like go out for a nice dinner. Honestly, his clothes don't even sound worthy of going out to McDonald's. She's not expecting extra, she's expecting a normal functioning adult person. If they get invited to attend a wedding, does she seriously need to explain to a grown man that he can't wear a ripped up, stained t-shirt and basketball shorts? It really shows immaturity and a lack of care about others, and himself, to not own a basic and presentable wardrobe. It's not OP's job to talk to him like a child and explain that he should have adult clothes and not have his dong flapping around in gross old basketball shorts in public. Op, I'm going to imagine he sleeps on a mattress on the floor and doesn't keep his home clean? Is this accurate? Is there any food in his refrigerator? Does he keep Gatorade bottles in his bedroom to piss in, so he doesn't have to bother himself with getting out of mattress for the bathroom at night? Does he own more than one bath towel? I can't imagine his attire is the only area in which he doesn't act as an adult, so please really look at what you're getting yourself into here. She did pick him dressed the way he is, so it's not like she didn't sign up for this. Man, you said it way more succinctly than I did, haha. You're so right. It is the bare minimum. The fact this is upvoted is kinda scary. This is such terrible advice for a young woman trying to get the man she genuinely loves to get some fucking clothes. Who upvotes this shit? Seriously. I think there are a lot of people who expect their partner to have immediate perfection and think the best course of action is to sabotage the entire relationship when one tiny issue arises. This is a very minor and fixable issue in the scheme of things. Something tells me you've been single for a long time. This is so well said, and so true. If he doesn't dress the way you want, he doesn't love you. Not exactly. The dude is wearing ripped, stained clothes, even on dates. If I was going to sum it up in a flippant way, if he loves you, he will put in some effort. You're talking like something inherently wrong with how he dresses. There isn't any moral or really even social obligation to dress a certain way on your own time. He's not giving the bare minimum in the relationship by her own admittance. He's a great guy who by all accounts treats his partner well and just doesn't see the value in dressing nicely. Expressing that and helping him understand a social value that isn't inherent but rather preferred by a partner isn't mothering someone, it's having a conversation. And while I don't disagree with dressing nicer, these are very firmly our opinions and preferences. An opinion I personally hold, by the way, because people had conversations with me as to why I should place value instead of this belligerent attitude of how my clothes are somehow indicative of who I am. We're a great couple, but we don't look like we're on the same page when it comes to dressing. If we both make some compromises, we'll look more like we belong together. I have to say, in a sense, who we show we are reflects who we are. If that makes sense. Your outward appearance shows a lot more than you are choosing to realize. There is a point where you don't want to follow societal construct, and I completely understand that. But we do need to realize that we do get treated a certain way when we look a certain way. I am plus size and have dressed down days and more dressed up days. On my dressed down days I get a way colder response, especially from guys, than I do when I'm dressed up. The same goes for guys. If you're dressed in worn-out clothes, you're not as approachable. And yes, she's choosing to be with him for all the things she has said, and it helps he is attractive to her, but because she sees his potential for looking put together, after a point it should come into question for him. What do I look like that she needs to point it out? However, I was married and realize not all guys would question it, so the conversation is much more important. She is obviously kind and is doing it with love and respect, so it wouldn't be out of insecurity that he should respond, and if it is, there needs to be a conversation about for both sides. There are many different situations where it would not be okay and be disrespectful and rude to say so. But in between two people in a relationship or even a friendship, you'd want that person to know they can look their best. It's only right to share with someone that they're lacking somewhere that is important in how people see them. If you're a person not okay with that, then it should still be a conversation about what matters and what doesn't, and the people talking about it should choose to move forward in knowing that, and how to better understand each other because of it. Of course, people are going to judge him based on his clothes, but I respect him for not giving a F about that. I mean, it is respectable and even admirable. But also, people are just going to do it anyway. If it's no one you know, it's of no concern, obviously it shouldn't be. And it's okay to not care, to an extent. Realistically, there are times and places for certain attire, and reading a room is important to avoid that. At home, the gym, maybe even a park, who cares, and you should be and dress as you want. But restaurants, public indoor places, and especially events, there has to be a standard. If there is, and you just blatantly don't care, then also don't care enough to be around people who do. I'm sure they're out there, and then everyone can be happy at that point. Trash opinion. No, does actually have to explain it to him and buy him a few outfits to get him to understand her preference. He has no wardrobe, and he doesn't even know how awful he looks. His reasoning is, I wear this all the time. Which shows that it's not just her that he doesn't dress well for. It's everything and everyone. He has zero interest and zero concept of dressing well. She will, in fact, have to show him what she likes and dictate the template for his future outfits. Buying clothes isn't being a mom. It's being a good partner and assisting people where they are lacking. This is the exact guy who, if left to his own devices, will look dumb and tacky for the rest of his life trying to appease his woman, assuming he doesn't revert to his preferred casual style. I don't see a problem with partners buying each other clothes. My partner buys me clothes all the time because she thinks I'll look cute in them. And you're not completely right about her not being his mom. I mean, obviously she isn't his mother, but when you get in a serious enough relationship, you tend to take on those roles that your parents previously did for each other. I do things for my partner all the time that her dad would have done for her if she still lived with him. Should I tell her to go to her dad's house to get that taken care of because I'm not her father? I do agree that she should put her foot down somewhat though. He should want to look nice for her when they go out, even if it's only for her enjoyment. Edited to correct autocorrect lol. This is a fantastic reply. I would memorize it and definitely use it. Do not do this please. Maybe you could teach him how to dress up lounge clothes. My ex was never sexier than when we'd go out for the day and he had on a clean, crisp white tee, gray joggers, clean white Air Forces, a fitted cap, his diamond earrings, silver watch and chain. With a couple spritzes of Acqua di Gio, the best-smelling cologne ever. Boy is lucky he ever made it out the house without me ripping his clothes off. Maybe making him understand how to be presentable in lounge clothes will encourage him to want to try harder in other areas of dress, like for dates. So basically like, baby steps. If he ends up loving you teaching him how to dress up his lounge gear, he'll trust you to help him with more looks. NTA. There is nothing wrong with wanting someone who is your partner to look good. I don't like dressing up, but I do it for my wife because she is my prize and I am hers. I want her to feel good when we are out together and not worry about what others might think. Some say she should do that anyway. But I live in the real world where appearances matter. His lack of effort in how he dresses probably reflects a lot about him if you really start to look. There are probably 100 other ways he doesn't give his best efforts. Fix it now or live with it forever. No underwear is crazy loudly crying. It matters because he's not a 12Y, oh boy. He's a man, he should dress to fit the occasion. Shirts and old t-shirts are fine for around the house or yard work. But he could at least buy some nice shirts, a few button-up and or polo shirts, shirts with a collar, and a pair of shoes that aren't tennis shoes. He dresses like a slob right now, and there's nothing attractive about that. Really crazy seeing people on here defending a grown-ass man who thinks asking that he shower before a date is asking too much loudly crying. These people make me feel like a fashion icon just 'cause I have the care to not use dirty t-shirts and dare to use pants LMAO. My guess is it's mostly men, who love holding women to a much higher standard than they do themselves, and women who think any man is better than no man. 100%. Same men who wouldn't look twice at a greasy woman wearing raggedy sweats lol. Yeah, not going to lie, I didn't think so many people would disagree with me. Obviously I knew there would be some, but geez, the amount of people who seem like they'd be okay with it has actually shocked me. The people okay with it are probably projecting their own insecurities. Your description isn't just bad style, it's borderline self-neglect. Okay, but clothing worn outside the house should be clean, neat, and in good repair. It shows a basic self-respect and respect for his companion. I would emphasize that it makes him look like he doesn't take care of himself. You didn't mention how long you have been dating, as I think that would make a difference. Since that is the way he has always dressed and he is in his 20s, you can't really change him as a person. The other thing that sticks out is that you mentioned he didn't shower, which makes this seem more like a cleanliness issue than simply not dressing well. This may obviously be a deal breaker for you, and that's ultimately up to you to decide. I would approach the situation by telling him how you feel when you go out together. Explain your feelings that when you are putting in a lot of effort and he isn't dressing for the occasion, that it makes you feel unimportant. It's appropriate to refuse the date if your feelings are that strong and he is putting in no effort. Don't try to change how he dresses at home or make him a different person. That's always going to fail in the long run and lead to resentment.